When was the last time you paid for music? Not the streaming service subscription, but like the last time you actually bought an album or bought a single. It's probably a while ago. Do you ever think about how that might ultimately affect what happens at the other end of that experience? How that affects the people that we rely on to make that music, to sing us those songs, to give us those musical, emotional documents of this particular time in our lives. There's jokes about drummers without a girlfriend for a reason, as in, what do you call a drummer without a girlfriend? Homeless. Those jokes exist for a reason, because music as a career was always going to be risky as a prospect. Prior to music downloads, it was a risk, but there was the reward there. If you made it big, you made it big. People worked at their craft. They were able to support themselves with the financial incentive to keep getting better and better at writing songs, being on stage, making a show, putting on a performance, and hopefully, if they had a hit, they were made. But that's very, very different now. The work required to get so good that you can go head to head with the biggest artists in the world, that work is still the same amount of work. But the reward is simply gone. The average income for a professional artist in Australia was $54,000 a year last year. That's 26% below the national workforce average. The annual average income based on creative work alone is $23,000 a year. Spotify, the streaming service, pays 0.004 of a cent, 0.004 cents per stream. So if you play a song and someone listens to it, I just earned 0.004 of a cent. On those payout figures, an Australian artist needs 1.2 million streams a month on Spotify just to make the minimum wage. That's over 40,000 streams a day. Now, when you consider that if you were selling a physical copy, a CD, an album, a cassette, whatever, to have your single certified gold in Australia was 35,000 sales, and platinum was 75,000 sales, it's pretty clear the incentive to pursue a career in music is gone. So if we remove the reward, who's going to take the risk? We still want new songs. Who's willing to do that? So what's it like to be a person that we rely on to give us the single that is the sound of our summer, not an American, not a Brit, but an Australian person with our cultural sensitivities, our cultural nuance that sings the songs of us, about what summer is like for us. The song that we share with our partner, the song that's always a song that was playing when you met your child for the first time. Amy Shark is one of those people, and she is working freaking hard to make a living and giving us the emotions that we crave from listening to music. She came to the house the other day, and we got very, very real about what it means to make ends meet as a musician in Australia. Thanks for coming around, Amy. How's it going?
Thanks for having me here.
We met once in Brizzo. I was at a radio station called B105 where I used to work, and you came in, and I think I was at the first record. And now here we are, I don't know, how, like 8 arias later and a gajillion streams later.
Yeah.
It's a great success story for an Australian musician to pull off.
Thank you.
I'm very happy that it's happened to you. Part of me is like, as a kid growing up, there was 20 people who had what you had, and now there's you. And it's kind of hard to describe that to people, you know?
It is. I feel more lucky now than I did anywhere near the start of it.
It's not to say you don't deserve to be where you are.
No.
But
Yeah,
just
I
the
get
way
what
the
you mean.
music industry has shifted so much. And
Oh my God.
of it.
I always talk about the last ship that was set to sail, and I just could see me running And then I always say, like, I kind of grabbed onto the boat and then I kind of reached out and grabbed Tones. I feel like that was, I mean, there are so many amazing up and coming artists, but to get on commercial radio is such a challenge. And I've only just really appreciated how lucky I've been and how supported I've been from the industry.
I remember when the Powderfinger guys bought houses. We were, you know,
it was
a big fucking deal.
Yeah, right.
We were, you know, that was their first or not even second record. They were buying houses.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, man.
Well, they're the best years that I remember growing up and watching like award shows or listening to the radio was these massive bands like Powderfinger and Silverchair and Grinspoon and, you know, just, yeah. And now there are bands, right? There are bands and I've got sort of one hand in the alt world where I love that music as well. So there are plenty of amazing bands, but none of them are getting flogged on radio. I don't even know if radio is so weird now where you don't even know if they could play that or if it's got to be like a big movement like country. Like, okay, we all agree country's having a time. Cool. So all of a sudden commercial radio is playing country or EDM or it's weird. It's like the country needs to decide as a whole, yep, this is what we want now.
The business model of the broadcasters decides ultimately a lot of what happens there.
Yeah.
And it's because part of the, you know, getting ready for coming in today was, you know, having a look at what you've done and the arias and things like that. And there's a number of how many millions or billion streams there are there. Yet, what do you think the average punter needs to know about what that means for you as far as being able to pay the rent?
People would be really surprised as to what actually pays the rent, I think. Because even touring, right? Like people see you touring and touring for me was an investment for so many years, especially internationally. Like people see you playing late night shows and they're like, oh, you must be a multi-millionaire. And you're like, it took me like quite a few years to not be in the red zone while touring and like even make money. Like now it's a big deal. It's like, what we're going to make money this tour? Holy hell.
I saw this thing the other day, and I know you would have seen it too, but I don't know if people really quite get the gravity of what it means for us as a country. The idea that half of all Australian musicians registered with APRA, which is the songwriting, not even the people we're just out, I'm just a road guy playing bass in a van. Like, you know, I wrote the song. Half of all those musicians earn less than a quarter of minimum wage.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, well, what's the incentive? What's the incentive to have someone culturally paint a picture of what it is to be in our country right now, if that's what it is?
Yeah, it's just, it's never been harder right now, you know, like it was, I think, you know, for me, early on when you have hype, when it's early stages and you sign your first publishing, which is, you know, people have belief in you. So, and you sign, you know, a decent record deal, which you don't really sign decent record deals anymore. Like,
and that's a T-shirt with your name on it. We'll be taking some of that.
Yeah,
Thanks very much. Oh, your song got used in a bank. We can use that.
Yeah, like I think it was like the 360 deal or something like that.
Yeah, they all started having to happen.
Yeah, which I thankfully wasn't on. I had a really good team at the start, and I signed some really good deals, and that got me off to, you know, sort of I could do this. I could do it and not have to stress too much. But it's pretty crazy when you see it. It goes so quick, you know, and like, especially if you want to do things well. Even with my shows, I always wanted to put on a show worth coming to see. You know, I wanted kids' faces to be like, oh, holy shit, there's pyro and there's a big sign. And, you know, I wanted to blow people's minds, but that stuff costs, you know, and you can't go back once you've set it up. It's like, sometimes I think I would actually make more money if I like just played smaller venues and, you know, but anyway, that's what I want. That's what I want for the Amy Shark brand. And
I worry for the culture of our country if we're not putting the financial incentive there and supporting what it is to have an Australian voice literally sing the songs of our people or tell our stories, because our competition, your competition, is multi-million-dollar funded.
Oh, yeah.
Like the top 10th% of every talent school in the country with a massive record company behind them overseas.
Yeah.
You might be the same record label.
Yeah.
But
we're
the kind of small
that
South
means nothing.
We're the small South Pacific kind of enclave.
That's why when Taylor was here, and a lot of artists were like, "Oh God, I felt like shit after that show. It just made me feel so pov and so this and so that." I went there and I don't put myself anywhere near it.
She got more, like 300, how many tickets did she sell? 300,000?
I don't know.
She got that many Australians out to see a gig.
Yeah.
And that would have been how many of those people's first ever gig?
I got emotional just because I don't know what if backlash or whatever, but I see her as like our version of the Beatles.
Easily.
Yeah, good.
There's no backlash there.
Good.
No, hit it.
Yeah, because
absolutely
the things that she's doing and the moves she's making and everyone coming together. I looked around that stadium and I was like, I honestly got emotional because I was like, I was so happy that someone could do this for the country, and we're all on the same page for this one girl. Like, God bless you.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, everyone's having a good time.
And then the other thing I love about it is that she hasn't been secretive about what it takes to do that.
Yeah,
and that you hear, hang on, what? She did the entire show at double speed on a treadmill every day for months before
you deserve the work that she puts in and the professionalism. Oh my God. I was just like, it's a one person in a lifetime that can do what she's doing. And she's doing it. So.
And anyone that goes, oh yeah, but her parents, like, honestly, fuck you. You don't accidentally do what she's done.
No.
You work really, really hard.
Yeah, 100%.
I once heard that a number one single is 100,000 correct decisions.
What was this?
A number one single is 100,000 correct decisions.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, no one dropping the ball either. Like
the whole way. And so many of those are out of your hands.
Yeah, all cylinders firing. It just doesn't happen anymore.
So much stuff's out of your hands.
Yeah.
All those bands that released an album on September 11.
I know. You'll never know. COVID.
Yeah.
Like we all still, I just so understand when I hear them like, oh, we had this going and that going, and then COVID just like, I feel like we all did. We had this momentum, and it just like got absolutely destroyed. So.
But you can build you don't have to say it, but I will. The government can build a fucking train line to make sure a coal mine gets to a port, but you won't support the people who. Without them, no one can put a show on, because that's not the ticket sales aren't the only reason festivals aren't getting on, because there's no fucking people to run the show. Yeah. Because everyone's like, we couldn't do it. We had to go and get gigs.
We actually don't do that anymore.
And we can't do it anymore. And all that intelligence, all that knowledge lost. And it's kind of shit.
It really is, hey.
It's kind of shit.
It really is.
That we don't value our culture enough in that space. But, I think as we move forward, people will start to see the value in supporting artists and musicians that they resonate with. And
I hope so. I always think nothing good lasts forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there can be other things that happen that make it go back to or better, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Like, when record sales stopped, like the whole Napster thing and like that all happened. It's like, well, it can't last forever. When Big Day Out stopped, I was like, had a good run. Yeah. Nothing good lasts forever. No. Everything evolves. Yeah. So I see us in a really shit time right now, but it's got to get better, right?
You got it.
We had it really cracking for a while there with these amazing festivals and amazing bands and artists and people being able to cut through and commercial radio like backing it, no matter what genre it is. Yeah, and now I just feel like we're just in a shitty part.
A bit of a funk.
That's why I kind of have taken this, not solely why I ended up in television, but it's really nice to have a buffer there that's not so reliant on how shitty all the percentages can end up being through streaming and through everything. And I know they're obviously trying to still work that out and monetize it better, but. It's hard out there, and I always feel bad complaining because I feel lucky. Yeah. That I'm not, having to pack it in. I know a few artists that are no longer, and I still can't get my head around it. I'm like, oh my God, like, what are you going to do?
You don't see Taylor Swift complaining, so don't like when Taylor's pulling off that stuff and saying, I don't care, pull it all. and I'm going to re-record it, and I don't give a shit
Oh my
because
God.
I'm worth more than that.
What a baller.
Like, I kind of think like she might be the last person who might be able to influence, because she has such economic pull. She might be the last person who's actually going to be able to influence those deals or help another platform get up.
Yeah.
That will change the outcome for musicians, because I am just mad for kind of like the mid 70s to mid 80s funk, soul.
Oh, yeah.
And particularly there's this beautiful sweet spot right after FM around 1981 when like Earth, Wind and Fire are on tour in Japan and there's 14 people on stage, all right? And they're all in unbelievable outfits that have been sewn onto them that day. Like they're touring with 60
so
guys, 3 drummers, there's a gong. And you look at it and think, oh, that's because every unit you sold, every album you sold, you were getting, say if the album in America was $10, you're getting $1.
Yeah.
All right. And you sold 10 million records. Thank you very much. And every time you get played on the radio, the mechanical royalties for that, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And so you can go on tour with 64 people
and
also make it great.
An era where records were being bought for decent money as well.
Yeah.
Like albums were being, it was funny, I was in LA and Delta Goodrum was there and she was living there. She had a place there and she goes, let's go and have dinner. And I said, yeah, that's great. She goes, I'll pick you up. And she like, I know she had a Porsche. She has a Porsche here and she rocked up in a Porsche in LA and it just hit me then. I was like, oh, this is a girl that's seen record sales. Like actual album, physical units sold. Like, because them's must have been the days.
Yeah. Oh, she also has like, she can sell out an arena.
Oh, no. That I just mean on top of what we were saying. But like, 100%.
Oh, man. Like the guys from Australian Crawl bought houses.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they were a band that never made it out of Australia, really. They never had a hit overseas. Yeah. And they, you know.
Well, I have a decent underground following, I feel, overseas that I love to go and entertain, and I guess I could probably build on it if I really wanted to, but I didn't have a massive global hit. Even though I've been successful in this country, I still have to hustle. Like I'm not, like I still have to work and really be quite creative in what I'm doing. Like it's just a never-ending thing in the music industry. You're never done.
I mean, I understand why. G's grown up she's never had to save up to buy a record. She's never had to find someone right away for a mail order CD.
Yeah.
Like
who's this? This is your
Georgia upstairs.
Georgia,
she's my stepdaughter.
Yeah.
She just goes, that's interesting. And then like now she's able to enjoy every album from this particular Argentinian artist.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way you could
straight up.
And without paying anything for it. All right. So it's never been in her brain that I need to pay for this. It's just always been free. And the ad for the motor mechanic down the road is a price you pay for that. So for people who have that relationship with their favorite artists, it's always just there. I love it.
Yeah.
What would you say to them about supporting them? How can they meaningfully support an artist in a way that you see some bottom line?
Always merch, always shows. I think showing up online now is a thing. And it's hard because there's so many great artists. So I get it as well. I get that there are, it's like, oh man, I want to support these people. God, that's going to cost me a lot of money. Yeah. But you just, you put on these tours and you hope people buy tickets. You hope they come and are drenched in their merch and you hope they're proud to wear it, to show it off for free promotion. And but you also need to be realistic and you have to be a likable person still,
Oh,
I think it's the hardest time for musicians because you can't just be a Kurt Cobain who's like, that's not for me. I wish I was in his era because like no one really there's some people that are born for it and they love having their phone out and they love it. But you can't be that anymore.
Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin never gave interviews ever. Yeah. Ever. The whole time he was in Led Zeppelin, he never spoke to it. Never.
Yeah. It just wasn't.
And
you could do it. Yeah. And it
and
almost like helped because it made you so cool. You can't be cool. You can't really be cool anymore. If you try and be cool, you'll disappear almost.
I want to be getting a smoothie with Ariana Grande at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I want to see that in my phone.
I want to see what she's doing. Yeah. And if I'm not, then she's boring and I might unfollow her.
Boo.
How bad is that?
It's certainly not about making great songs, is it?
It's really unfair. That's why when they're like, oh, we just kind of need a few more TikToks and Reels, I'm like, and then you know, my manager will be like, oh, God, you haven't sent me a demo in a while. And because I'm really good, like I write all the time and I'm always sending demos. And then lately, he's not getting any. I'm like, do you know why? I'm spending so much fucking time on social media. The other day, I actually left my phone in the kitchen and I just wrote. I just didn't look at it for ages. And I know everyone says this and like, had time away from your phone. But when you really do it and you even for an hour, there's something that happens to your brain where you're just like, I felt better. I was happier. I was in a better mood. Everything changed. Like
there's only so much fuel you've got to have your brain do that creative thing in the day.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and I don't know about you or your manager, but I'd be like, that's marketing. That's your budget. You pay for someone to go over to her house and sort it out.
I know.
Because asking her to do it herself is sucking the thing that we actually make money from away. That's not the product. You're not a TikToker.
But then no one will
musician.
do it like the way I want to do it. So it's a catch-22.
Have to give some of it away.
I know. Yeah. So I feel for artists who that is not their shtick, not interested. But I've also said to them, I'm like, there is a way you can do it. You don't have to be funny and you don't have to do little like skits that are cringe or, you know, you don't even have to do the trend that's on these Reels or TikTok or whatever. You can do it in a way that's authentic to you, but it's just extra work.
Yeah. I'd like to make a hook that you want to sing the day you get married, and it's going to take me time to write the song that gets played when your first child is born. I'm probably going to have to write 80 songs that aren't that great to get to that one.
Totally.
I don't get to do that if I'm busy constantly updating this algorithm that is never satisfied.
Yeah.
That's a shitty part of what we're asking our musicians to do now, is to use their creativity on this thing. I always used to wonder when I was at Channel V, like, how's the guy? Well, he's not a very good chat. I was like, of course not. He sat in his bedroom and played guitar riffs his entire life, and now he's in Australia.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to talk to people because he's never had to.
I know. That's like when I go to photo shoots and I hate them and I'm really bad at them. Like I'm not, like people tell, oh, you did great. No, I didn't. But like, it's like I didn't become a musician to have my photo taken and to be dressed like this and to know where to stand and how to look and to, you know, it takes me so long to get one good photo, but I give myself a break because I'm like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a model or do any of this shit. Like,
but that's you can't be in the kind of music that you make, which is pop / indie pop, depending on, you know, where you are. You can't be there without having that. There's a visual aspect to it.
You also need to, like, in the right way, be the nice guy. Like if I said no to Vogue, well, I'm an asshole. And it's like, how dare you say no to that? And then those people kind of like, oh, shit, that's like, you know, word spreads. Word spreads so much.
That's what you pay a percentage for, Amy. I don't pay. You don't pay people to say yes for you. You just pay people to say no for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there is a balance of that. There's a balance, and I've got to this really nice place now where I feel really comfortable and confident to be like, that's not going to happen. I don't feel like I have to do that, but that comes at a cost of, well, they might not add your song or they might not do this. And it's just, I don't know, it's just always picking your battles.
It is. And certainly when it comes to male artists, the pressure to get the rig out is definitely there.
Oh, yeah?
You know, and
what
female
do you think
artists.
About us?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, but with female artists, it's an entirely different spectrum. Is that if you're not, you know, showing your ass every couple of days on the gram, then are you really that good at pop song? Like, it's fucking crazy.
You're just not hot enough for us. Yeah, I know. It's just never ending, man.
How do you be with that? How do you be with there could be a zero added to my, you know, whatever metric it is, downloads or, you know, tour figures. if this particular intervention in my visage was taken,
To be
because there's plenty
naked.
of artists that have done that, all right? There's before and after photos of some artists that you're like, I can see why he did make that investment, you know?
Yeah, I think I was lucky at the start just because I had such a clear vision. I had such a clear look.
Yeah.
And maybe I owe it to being a little bit older where, you know, I kind of was really bitter and resentful about that. But looking back now, I'm like, geez, thank God I wasn't 16 or 17 because I'd already had 15 years of men being like, you know, you should wear dresses when you play here, love, and you should smile more. You should wear more makeup. And it's like, I think I honestly hit late 20s, early 30s, and I was like, fuck that. I'm so done. I don't care. So I came in ready with a bloody nose, just being like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And yeah, so I already had a clear idea of who I wanted to be. So anyone that sort of approached myself or my team knew what is possible and what is like just not going to happen.
How does that affect when you're on, and I've been there, when you're on a show like Idol and you can see 16-year-old or 17-year-old kid with the stars in their eyes who doesn't yet know to say, actually, no, that's probably not something I should do, or has anybody around them saying, no, that's probably not something you should do.
Kids are different these days, you know.
Aren't
Kids are smart. Like I wasn't this smart at their age, but you know what I think about every now and then? I think about the crap that I was watching. Like I was just obsessed with Dawson's Creek. That was so mind-numbingly kind of dumb. And now kids are like watching Breaking Bad and learning about how to make ice and stuff. And like they're like learning things and like, you know, like shows are crazy now. And I was just like brain dead watching like the OC. Yeah. But
great track. Those guys bought fucking houses.
They bought houses.
They bought 2 houses because they got their song on that. Yeah. Mechanical Royalties are amazing.
Yeah, Paula Cola's not going hungry.
You get one of those tracks, boy. See you, good night.
Man, that's every artist's dream. But these kids come in and I feel like if there is one that I see coming out dressed as something and then she's pulling at it and her performance is rubbish because of it. I've said it before. I'm like, were you comfortable? And she's like, no, not really. I just felt a bit insecure. I'm like, so why did you wear it? Don't. And I just hope that abruptness, even though it might shock them at the start, I just hope that sits with them because I do it for that reason, to hope that because I remember people saying it to me and the way it's said, it's like, I will remember that and I will put that into practice because I shouldn't have worn this. I should have said no.
I didn't learn that for years. I just wore what they told me to wear because I just wanted to do the right thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. When I think about you, I always think of you guys being so cool and funny and chill. Like was it as fun as it looked? Did you have like the best time all those years?
Oh man. So Idol at work was always amazing.
Yeah.
The work part was always amazing. And I was trying to tell this to someone the other day because I did a mental health chat gig in the country the other day. And they said, mate, we never would have known you would have. And I said, that's kind of like looking at Ariana Titmus and going, oh, you can walk? Because you've only ever seen her swimming.
Right, yeah.
People only ever saw me when I was doing the thing that made everything okay. I'm doing this thing where I'm so completely focused and everything's so rehearsed, and I'm free to be expressive in this, you know, because we're live and it's exciting and it's unbelievably stimulating. And for that 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes, whatever we were on the camera, it was just like the perfect golf shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you were very, so good at it. You know?
Well, I like to think that I worked hard.
Your instincts was so good.
I worked really hard to do it. And, and the same with you. You know, you don't accidentally get the musical knowledge or how to hold a crowd or what to say or knowing I might have to drop the next song because these guys are going to leave.
Thinking on the fly.
You know, that stuff comes just from flight miles. So it was the other 23 hours that were hard.
In what way? Like just by being on television and having people think a certain thing of you?
That part was there, but I was, you know, also people say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, I kind of had this idea when I was a kid that everything would be awesome once I got on TV.
Yeah.
The only thing that happened was that everything that wasn't awesome in my life was magnified just as like crazily intensely because I couldn't get away from it. And I figured out how to have a much different approach to my work now, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, it was like, we've got to do some fucking super fun things. But that's because, and you've seen it, one of those big shows, you're doing a dance with 115 other people.
Yeah.
All very professional and all the best in the country at what they do. And when you all move together, it's just like when it really lands, everyone just fuck it. Like when the band, when you like,
when you're tight and it's like, that was a cracking show. Yeah.
You know it. Yeah. It's unspoken. And so similarly, so that's, we got to do some cool as shit stuff.
Yeah.
But that's similarly, like the budget was there.
Was it because of the people you had in your life at that time, or was it like, I mean, look, you were doing it at a time where there was no competition of streaming or anything. Like right now, it's like we all get a shock when we get told, oh, Idol rate the views and the ratings were massive, and it's like, oh, cool, great, because it's like you're up against it.
Yeah, we were. It was different.
You guys were it, man. You were on every television. Your face is the most known face.
We were pulling 2.2 on a Monday.
Yeah.
On a fucking Monday. Not even Sunday night. All right?
Yeah.
Those days are gone because there was 3 other channels and the internet made noises when you dialed it up and that was it.
Yeah.
So this is what happened. What, are you going to get another $1 weekly and an overnight from Blockbuster? No, you're going to turn this thing on.
It's free.
Yeah.
Kids,
here we go.
Gather around, pizza night. Yeah.
Bingo. That was exactly right. And that was it. I only heard a few songs of the record that are out, but you've hit a theme that I know is quite common with people. It's that the kind of weirdness of a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Tell me about. I was a little further north, not very far, maybe 60 Ks, 80 Ks, but there's something about the angle of light in Queensland on a Sunday afternoon that can either put you one or two ways.
Oh my God, dude, that is exactly what I was trying to explain. There's a different colour grade on the earth, especially on the Gold Coast, I felt growing up. And even like recently, it's just a weird feeling. And I called it that because it's so generational for me. Like I remember it like on weekends being like, oh man, the street lights are on. I have to go home. Fuck, I got school tomorrow. I don't want to go. And it's just like it feels like the darkest depression when you're a kid. Yeah. It's not the worst. It's just so not that bad.
Don't worry, kids, it gets way worse.
Yeah, exactly. And then the older you get and the more shit you've been through, the memories come flooding back and then you're like, oh man, I probably should have like called my nan, or I probably should do this, and I wonder how that person's going. God, I don't ever speak to her anymore. And then all the list of things creep into my brain, and because no one works on a Sunday and I don't have kids, so like my friends have got their kids and my label isn't working, so I can't hound them for anything. Everything stops and I do not know what to do.
Oh, and you have to be with the discomfort in your own body.
So I ended up sitting there with like usually a bottle of red, and just my one glimmer of hope for the night was spaghetti or like some sort of pasta. I'm like, at least I have that. And then I would work on the record and like finish some things or write new stuff. So it became something that helped me through Sunday. Is like, I'm going to work on that song tonight. That'll be fun.
And how are Sundays for you now?
They'll forever suck. The Sunday scaries are just always going to be there, you know?
There's whole parts of the world where that's Saturday.
Yeah.
The week goes from Sunday to Friday. That's it.
Yeah.
Sunday to Thursday, sorry.
Yep.
Weekend is Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
So if you want to get away from the Sunday scaries, you got to live in one of those countries.
Yeah.
Though some of them, you know, depending on your gender, fun or not fun places to be.
Yeah.
But the food's
I think
great.
that's why there was Sunday sessions, and I used to love them, right? But it was so bad for me. But like I would always say to my friend, we used to work together and we'd be like, oh, should we just go have like one? And then, but we neither of us want to go home, let's face it. So we're just like, oh, let's just rip in. Like, we'll deal with tomorrow. And you don't think about Sunday, but then you're a mess, and Monday's even worse.
When you're doing Friday night 9 o'clock drinking at Sunday afternoon 2 o'clock, thinking pub shuts at 8, I've got a hard out. Like I'm literally going to be. I'm just going to have to go home, and then 8:30. I remember stumbling out of the RE into Wong, just going. Walking home because I'd drunk all my money, like 5Ks back to my house because I'd run out of cash. You say kids are different. Like when I was G's age, I was drinking my paycheck, keeping enough bus fare to get to Logan. That was it.
Oh,
that was my plan.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Man,
stuck to.
just that was it. And like, where's everyone hanging out? And like, but then I look at it, like I loved like doing like film and editing and stuff. And I had this chunky big thing like with the big tapes in them. And I had like an edit suite that you had to like put together almost. And I really think about what I could have done if like, I'm showing my age now, but if YouTube was around or something, you know, because I was already doing that shit. But we were just laughing with our friends, like drinking like a million cruises, going, "Oh, how funny is that party that Amy shot the other day?" And I put music to it, and like, you know, I made it my job to find like weird like avalanches and Portishead, and I really made it my thing to put cool music to these party videos. Luckily now I'm the one behind the camera, but the shit I have, like if I was doing it, I'm just lucky I own it. I've put a fair bit on a hard drive.
Right.
Yeah, I just need to make the move to put it on the cloud on Dropbox.
I've got to find a VHS machine.
Yeah, I've got one. It's and it all works. It just takes. I had through COVID actually. I did it. I like started watching and started converting a lot of stuff, and that's when I realized, wow, I'm so glad I own this vision and no one else has it.
I don't know if that's the thing that makes the younger generations than me, and you know, I can't speak for yourself, but because someone's always filming.
Yeah.
But to not be filmed and to have the dumb shit that I was doing,
not
be
so free. Yeah, that's
in perpetuity. Maybe a 35mm camera that someone brought with them. There could be a photo.
Yeah,
that was.
You knew if someone had a video camera, be like, "Oh, you got a video camera? Whoa."
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, come and film this, beer bong or whatever. But like, now, you know, it's just everyone's so sly and you could just, anything can be filmed at any time. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for not having everything documented always and being free to fuck up.
I love that wasn't here. I love that I actually got through school not having social media. Like it was really coming, like it was very close, but it was not a thing.
You'd be in my top 8, Amy Shark.
Oh, you really?
No, you wouldn't be. It'd be my wife.
Man, you knew about it though when someone wasn't.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember calling up so many people being like, "Hey, why'd I drop out? What'd I do?"
What's this thing we're using that I'm holding in my hand that is an unbroken piece of copper wire between me and your house?
Yeah.
I had to explain that to Wolfgang the other day. What's that? It's a telephone. What do you mean? I was like, okay. It's not this flat piece of glass that you see me and Mum holding. It's a thing. Yeah. Regardless.
Yeah, because kids do that now. They don't do that. That's wild.
Isn't it wild? But hey, everything changes. There's something in that. Maybe you should put that in a song.
Nothing good lasts forever.
It's a pretty good hook.
Yeah.
You should get on that. Yeah, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I believe there might be something in there. I don't know if Joni Mitchell got there first, but it could work. You never know.
You do a remix.
Tune your guitar. Well, talk to Janet Jackson about that. But you know, and Q-Tip was involved as well, I think. When you're out and about and you are, you're blowing money on pyro, but sure, there's show and show business. You got to do it. Mm-hmm. When you see the reaction of the people in the crowd, when you see them singing along and you know the pyro's coming, you're like, oh, you just wait till the key change. And then boom. What's that like?
It's the best feeling in the world. I think that's why I was happy to invest in it and break even lose money on it, because I wanted to get out of clubs. I wanted to be able to play bigger spaces, and I knew that I needed to show up and show that I was willing to drop a bunch of coin on the show to make it worthy of the ticket price and the venue. But yeah, it's pretty special. I remember the day, it was about a month we couldn't afford dinner because we got this massive Amy Shark sign built. It was so expensive, but it's so cool. I don't care what anyone says. It feels a bit much sometimes to people who aren't wanting the big show and stuff. It might be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Gauche.
Grandiose.
But I love it. I'm so proud of it each time I see it. But I'm also the same when, if I win an award, I'm just so grateful and I'm really proud of it. I'm not embarrassed, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I worked really hard.
Really wanted to win that, you know? So anyway, I had years where I was battling, why do I care? And I'm like, oh, I know why I care, because I got beaten down for 20 fucking years. And I'm here now and I've proved myself, and now I'm going to have fun with it. Yeah. And I get to make music every day, and I get to play these awesome rooms because I put so much time and effort into the show and the look and the feel of it. Yeah. So yeah, anytime I get to play these big rooms, I'm just like so proud of everyone, the whole team.
What's it like when your music re-intersects with a Venn diagram of rugby league? When you kind of cross over back into your previous life.
Oh yeah, that's so weird.
Rugby league
Oh
world.
my God. Like it's a real funny moment because I really had such a supportive boss, like when I worked at the Gold Coast Titans, and the whole club was so supportive of me. Like even the players would come to my shows, and it was a magic time working for that club. We didn't win many games, but they're winning now, so that's good. But yeah, when I play like NRL games and I see some of the girls from NRL and from the Titans, it's weird. Because I'm Amy, who worked in like, film and the editing department and the community arm. And I just don't think anyone expected this. Like no one expected this. I still kept my job even on the first tour.
I remember when we first met, you were still working.
Yeah, I was still working.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was just like, I have a really good job. I don't want to get rid of it. And then it wasn't until the song came number 2 in the Hottest 100 on Triple J, and my manager was like, Amy, you need to resign.
You got to go now.
We're going to be really busy, and you just can't be cutting videos while you're on. I was like cutting videos while I was on tour with Cub Sport, and I was like late to the Brisbane show because I still had work to do. I just look back and I'm like, what? But I really had no faith. I was just like, no, this isn't going to last.
It's okay to have a hedge. It's okay to keep a hand in something that's got some humility. Like there's a great humility that also comes with that, of being of service to someone else. So like the gig's got nothing to do with you or your image. Like you're working. Yeah. There's something particularly about a club that's not doing well. Everyone shows up to practice when the club's doing well.
Oh, yeah.
When the club's not doing well, to get the community, to get the members, just to come down and watch the guys train.
Yeah.
What did you learn about community building and nourishing a community from your time working at the Gold Coast Titans that you still kind of carry with you?
It takes a long time. That's got to be your main focus, is people. And you've got to be able to be one with the people and talk to the people. And the Gold Coast is still such a young club, but I was really lucky with my job there because I got thrown into the community arm. And we did a lot of Indigenous youth summits and programs, and I got to go to like Doomadgee and Mornington Island with like Preston Campbell, and I learned so much. Like I had no idea on like these remote communities. The people I met and I got to interview, it wasn't even my job. I just like started talking to people, and I was like, "Do you mind if I like start filming?" And they were so lovely to me, and I'm so grateful for that. Even coming into music now and where the country's at right now, I'm just really grateful that I'm somewhat educated.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm glad you got a chance to do that, because who you are to a lot of people, when you talk about it, may bring a different angle to something they may have learned just through osmosis in the community, which is not their fault. It's just, I grew up in Queensland. I've been to parts of country where people use words that you don't use. And
100%.
If someone, hears it in a song or hears it, go, hang on, what's going on with that? That seems like a... Yeah. It's the secret weapon, I think, to get it. It's just people are people. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This is so great.
You made the time to do this, and I know you're busy, and I'm glad that I'm a tiny little part of your day today, because it's lovely to see you.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. And I love, this is such a great setup, and you're such a good chat. And we have so much more we could talk about.